Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and welcome back to 30 Days of Guitar. Today is day 22, and we are finally going to learn the real C chord. And this is, in my opinion, the trickiest out of all the basic chord shapes. And in order to learn it, we're going to revisit a tune that we did in week 1, Eleanor Rigby, and we're basically going to upgrade that to its final form. Real quick before we get started, if you haven't grabbed your copy, I have my free ebook in the corner. It has all the basic chords, strumming patterns, everything you need, all there in printable form. I also have my complete guitar course, which does the same thing we're doing in 30 Days of Guitar, but like, you know, every single step of the way, all the chord shapes, all the stuff, all the progressions, it's all there, with all the visuals, and we go through the chord switching game and everything. So please check that out if you haven't already. And don't forget to like and subscribe so we can conclude this journey. We just have, I think, 8 days left. Anyways, the song in question, Eleanor Rigby, E minor and C, and we did it before in an easier way. Well, now I want to start by playing our full E minor shape and then moving my finger down to where it belongs on that C chord. And just doing that a couple times silently. And then we're going to add a step. We have our E minor, we move our index that way, and then we're going to put our ring finger over there. And this requires us to pay attention to our hand angle, I guess we'll call it. I don't know if that's a real word, but for E minor, our hand is angled like this, you know, and then when I play C, I got to angle it that way in order to give my ring finger that reach. It also helps to put your knuckles more in front of the fretboard. That means lowering your thumb, making sure your shoulder stays back and sitting up straight. And, you know, if your guitar goes like this, you're never going to be able to reach, right? So you have to have your guitar in a good spot. And, you know, we give our ring finger all the advantages it needs to reach that fret and to also arch our fingers, keep them nice and curled, use the fingertips so that every string can ring clearly. That's why I've been saving this one up, because it is difficult to make it really ring out. And we're going to do Eleanor Rigby because it's just E minor and C, and it gives us a great opportunity to work on that switch. So, you know, we have our order of operations, so to speak. We can pivot off that middle finger. I lift my index, do a little twist, and I finish up my C chord. You know, we just silently switch. Then we can do the chord switching game. We'll do a little bit right here. Let's just go 1, 2, switch. Switch, 1, 2, switch, back, 1, 2, switch, switch, 1, 2, switch, back. You know, and you can go through that as many times as you need to, and, you know, go through all the rounds of the chord switching game at your own pace to really nail that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but, you know, just work on it, right? It's one of those things. And then we can start applying that to the song. The first section is the easiest, going, I look at all the lonely people, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I look at all the lonely people, la da 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 da. And you're totally welcome to revisit the earlier lesson where we took our time counting out how many times to play each chord for. You know, we did all this with simplified shapes. Now we're going to be able to jump in and add these, you know, full final versions of the E minor and C chord, and we're going to play through the rest of the tune. We're on the verse now, starting off on an E minor chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice at the church where her wedding has been. 2, 3, 4. Lives in a tree, waits at the window, wearing the face that he keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? if you want to work on a little bit of rhythm, especially that whole subdividing thing, Eleanor Rigby, we can use a really simple pattern, just playing downstrokes, but on like everything, going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and just like we did with the Boogie Woogie Blues, except here we're just using static chord shapes. And we just do really small motions. If our motions are too big, it becomes too erratic. So we just do small motions that, are nice and relaxing, right? And we can play through it like, let's just do the chorus bit like that. 3 and 4 and look at all the lonely people. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And this works really good when we get into the verse. Rigby picks up the rice in the church where her wedding has been. So that's something that you can try with it if you want to, take this a step further. Otherwise, that's what I really want you to focus on today, is that E minor to C transition, and trying to really curl those fingers, get your thumb in a good spot, do what it takes to make the C chord feel good. A little tip here is you can put your ring finger so it just touches the underside of the thickest string, and that way it mutes the string. But once again, those little touches, you might be ready now, you might be ready in 3 or 4 months. It takes a while. There's so many little things with guitar, and we're all going to have things that we're good at and things that we need to work on, and it's different for everybody, right? So if you can't do that, don't worry. There's probably something that you can do that, somebody else wishes they could do, right? So it kind of balances out. Anyways, work on all that stuff tonight, focusing on the C chord. You can add that strumming pattern if you like. Don't forget to grab my free ebook, check out my complete beginners course, to like and subscribe, do all those things that are going to help you get better at guitar, all those resources that are, going to provide you with the experience so that you can not waste your time on things that you don't need to be doing, and just cut to the chase and do the things that are going to make the biggest difference. Otherwise, with that said, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you tomorrow.